Hey YouTube, it's me 4000 me, and I'm gonna do another hopefully quick. This is a fun video. It's a listography, and feel free to post your comments and responses below. This is going to be list your favorite books. So let me set my timer. I'm about to tell you what some of my favorite books. I'm sure there's other ones that could have made the list, but I can't think of them. All of them. The first one is To Kill a Mockingbird. This is a good book. This was one of the first books that I had to read. One of the few books that I had to read in high school that I actually really liked and read again after I got out of high school. I like the tenacity of Scout, and even though it doesn't have the outcome you want it to have, it shows the progression of how the jury in the trial, they thought a little bit longer, and that was epic for that day and age. The second thing I've written down is the book of Genesis from the Holy Bible. That is one of the most fun-filled, action-packed books of the Bible. You got the creation story, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, Noah's Ark. Let's see, Joseph, Jacob and Esau, Isaac, Abraham and Lot. Lot's wife when she turned back and became a pillar of salt. I mean, that's just a good book of the Bible. There's this book called Last of the Breed by Louis L'Amour. It's a really good book. I might have to reread that one. I haven't read it since like junior high, and probably now if I revisit it, it will be even more wonderful. There's a book called Succulent Wild Women by a woman named Sark. That's S as in Sam, A, R as in Robert, K. It's just a good book about being a bold, vibrant woman and accepting all of everything about yourself, the good, bad, ugly, indifferent. It's just a great book to have. Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. It's just a fun book. Like, I will not eat that, Sam I Am. Like, he just was like, I will gonna stand on my rock. I'm not gonna eat this. And as a little kid, you do fall into that. Like, some days what your mother or parent puts in front of you, just like, I will not eat that. I will not eat that. And it's just a good book. I like Dr. Seuss. I might go see the Dr. Seuss exhibit that's here in town. Another book is like not a graphic novel, but yeah, comic book. It's called Tales of a Young Urban Failure, and it's sort of in the vein of the Dilbert series, where it's just this guy in his office doing mindless, numbness work because he's in his early 20s. And you just like, oh, this is all I'm going to ever do. A book called I, Claudius. Very good book about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire through the eyes of the emperor. Another Dr. Seuss book made my list, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is my all-time favorite book, and every Christmas when the cartoon comes on, I'm so pumped. I didn't really like the Jim Carrey movie version, but I just like the fact that this Grinch was so fed up, he stole Christmas. Remember they said he stole the crumbs on the floor? I mean, just stole, like, you know what? I'm stealing Christmas. Like, I stole it from you. And for me, I'm like, wow, that's just evil and funny to me at the same time. And then, like, he grew a heart. I'm like, oh, he grew a heart and then took everything back. My whole point is, like, you stole it, keep it. Another book favorite is Ruby Fruit Jungle. It's about this woman who is figuring out her sexuality, I think in the 1950s or the 1960s in a women's college. I might have to reread that one. The Four Agreements by, oh God, Miguel Ruiz. Very good book. I wish I could always live out of those four agreements. One of the things I should remember is never to take anything personally. Let me see my time. Oh, I can't check it. Oh. But another good book, this one is by Sister Souljah, The Coldest Winter Ever. This is one of, since I'm reading it off the list, this is one of my all-time favorites. I mean, this is this young girl who, she's fast and she likes the fast life and, the fast boyfriends and wheeling and dealing. And at first when I read it, I'm like, do people really live like this? Because that's not the kind. I read it when I was like in my teens, and most of my friends and family lived like me, stable home or semi-stable. One parent was stable. Her whole family was unstable. It was, she was moving every day, every night. Whew. But it was a good book. Sister Souljah. The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. Objectivism is about an architect who's sort of like Frank Lloyd Wright, really about his principles. It's like 700 pages, so it is a really good read. Next one is Kindred, and this is like, if you love science fiction. I'm a science fiction buff. I love the Star Wars, but this one, Kindred, is about Octavia Butler, and it's about this young Octavia Butler. The author was one of, if not the first, black female science fiction writers, and she is phenomenal. It's about this woman in the 20th century who somehow, I forget how she gets transported back to slavery times, and just how she deals with what's going on in like the 1700s or the 1800s. It's a really good book. I might have to read it again. Another book is Quirky Alone by Sasha Cajun. C-A-G as in goat, E-N as in Nancy. Sasha Cajun. It's about people who, they know they're kind of quirky and nerdy, and what it feels like to date or, be in relationships with people, boyfriends, girlfriends. It's just an interesting book to have, because you're like, that is just how I operate. That's how people see me. And how, sometimes when you're a really quirky person, you want to be with somebody, a partner, a boyfriend. And then other times you're like, I'm really content with being by myself. So a better way to describe it is, it's a book for people who are really comfortable being by themselves but want to be in a relationship. So check it out. The other book is called Calling in the One. I did a whole episode called Epic Endorsement. It's just about relationships and how you are responsible for you, and all accountability lies on you. You can't keep pointing and saying men are dogs or women ain't, it. You have to take into account, why do I keep attracting these type of people? So it's kind of like the secret for modern love relationships. And one of the ones I always love is Eat, Pray, Love. That book is like another one of my Bibles. I read that book every 18 months because it's just so good and so rich. And I would love to take a year off and go to 3 countries, 4 months at a time. I do want to go to Bali, Indonesia. Maybe I could see Ketut. I would love to go to Italy and eat my way through Italy on food tours and see the Roman, amphitheaters and all that good stuff. I would love to go to India, but I don't know if I can meditate like that. So those are my favorite books. I'm sure I'll think of another one right when it's time for me to load this. But tell me some of your favorites. I know Baltlan TV will do it. Maybe Jahira. Come on, Candid Ann, put something down there. Shika03. Yeah, put your favorites down there, and I'll talk to you later. And have fun reading.